Lights and lenses. All eyes in the Olympic Luis Companys Stadium are glued to every step of Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old who is writing a new chapter in Barcelona's history. But there is another eye, not from the regular audience, but from behind the camera lens. Uxue López, 24, a budding reporter for a national sports channel. She is assigned to follow Lamine's journey for a special series called The New Golden Generation. At first, it's all business, interviews, filming at the Ciutat Esportiva training ground. But gradually, amid the polite nods and carefully prepared questions, a wave of emotion begins to creep in. Lamine, with her bright eyes, ready smile and rare sensitivity for an 18-year-old, is drawn to the way Uxue sees the world. Uxue, on the other hand, was fascinated by the unusual honesty and maturity of the man who was shouldering the expectations of a generation. One afternoon after El Clasico, when the whole city held its breath at Lamine's goal against Real Madrid, they met again in the media zone, but this time, Uxue didn't ask any questions. She just said, "You know, there are moments that the camera can't capture, but people will remember forever." Lamine smiled. There was a brief silence, then they both looked towards the slowly emptying stands. No need for confessions, no need for flowery words. That night, at the Barcelona docks, where the floodlights reflected on the water, they shared their dreams. Lamine about the World Cup, Uxue about her first documentary. They made no promises, only knowing that in the midst of a stressful life, they had just found a place to breathe. They may not be together forever. But the story between Lamine and Uxue, a young man carrying the country on his shoulders, and a girl learning to tell the most beautiful stories with light and lens, will forever be a romantic silence in the noisy world of football. After discreet meetings and emoji-encoded messages on Instagram, Lamine and Uxue decided to spend an off-schedule evening, their first proper date. No one knew, no one saw. They chose a small cafe in the Gracia neighborhood, where the sound of street musicians' guitars mingled with the scent of hot cinnamon rolls. Lamine wore a hoodie, and Uxue let her hair fall over half her face. Under the warm, yellow light, they talked endlessly. About the loneliness behind fame, about the dreams of being 18 and the worries of being 24. There were no reporters, no cameras, no jerseys or microphones. But Barcelona never sleeps, and the paparazzi never sleep. In a romantic moment, when Lamine wiped the cream from her lips, and Uxue let out a small laugh, their first kiss happened. Not awkward, not forced. It was the crystallization of emotions that had been suppressed through weeks of silence and eye contact on the football field. A click. Not the sound of a heart melting, but the lens just finished taking the golden photo. The next day, the front pages of Spanish sports newspapers exploded with the headline: Lamine Yamal kisses female sports reporter. Love secret exposed. Social networks were divided. One side criticized Uxue for taking advantage of him to get attention. The other side was worried about Lamine's mentality before the upcoming U21 tournament. FC Barcelona was silent. The media department asked Lamine not to say anything. But at the press conference that day, the 18-year-old broke the script. "We did nothing wrong. He is a person I trust, admire, and respect." Lamine said, his eyes turned to the back of the auditorium, where Uxue stood, silent but proud. Their secret date was no longer a secret. But that exposed kiss became the moment that made all of Spain see Lamine not only as a football prodigy, but also as a boy growing up in the spotlight and making brave decisions. Jealousy in the spotlight, when Uxue finds Lamine with someone else. After the scandal of the leaked kiss, both Uxue López and Lamine Yamal are like circus performers who have to balance between their true feelings and the pressure of the media. They still keep in touch quietly, still have nights when they text until 3 a.m., even though they no longer dare to appear together in public. But then, something no one expected happened. One Saturday afternoon, social media sites began to spread a short clip recording the scene of Lamine walking out of a luxury restaurant in Madrid, next to a girl with long curly hair, a simple but attractive black dress. Claudia Bavel, a famous influencer with more than 3 million followers on TikTok and Instagram. People saw Claudia smiling, and Lamine did not take his hand away from her. Uxue saw the video while he was in the post-production room. She didn't scream, didn't bang on the table, but her eyes were as dark as the night without stars. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe it's a meeting with media partners, she told herself. But when she opened Instagram, everything seemed to fall apart in one swipe. Claudia posted a story of Lamine's profile with a black heart emoji. Netizens went crazy. The press labeled them the new hot couple of Spanish General Z. A few days later, when Lamine went to the training ground to prepare for the Super Cup, he received a message from Uxue. "You don't need to explain. Just remember that I believed in what you said, more than you thought." That evening, Uxue went to the Sports Journalism Awards gala alone. More beautiful than usual, dark red dress, hair tied up. Everyone complimented her on her radiance. But no one knew she had prepared a single question in her mind: if one day Lamine stood in front of her. Have you ever been sincere, or do you simply like the feeling of having someone believe in you? Lamine, then, answered a short interview. Claudia is a friend, nothing more, but sometimes being a second late is enough to lose something precious.